Under the Sinaloan sun, a Roma tomato ripens in a high-tech Mexican greenhouse. Workers expertly select, sort, and pack the fruit, prepping it for a journey that once led straight to American shelves. But this year, a new U.S. tariff has changed everything. The lorry, once bound for Texas, now heads north, past the U.S. border straight into Canada. The North American food network's rhythm is disrupted. A single policy shift in Washington has rerouted millions of tomatoes. In Toronto, the tomato lands on a supermarket shelf, its journey a symbol of shifting trade routes. For shoppers, it's just produce. For farmers and drivers, it's a new reality. This tomato's path tells a bigger story, of trade pacts, political decisions, and the redrawing of a continent's food map. The ripple effects reach far beyond the produce aisle. A simple tomato now embodies the complexities of global trade. Its journey is no longer routine, but a sign of a new era. The map of North American trade is being redrawn, one lorry load at a time. The story of this tomato is the story of change. The turmoil began with the collapse of the Tomato Suspension Agreement, a pact that for decades kept U.S.-Mexico tomato trade stable. American growers accused Mexican producers of undercutting prices, while Mexico insisted its edge came from innovation, not unfair practices. In July 2025, the U.S. imposed a 17% tariff on Mexican tomatoes, ending the truce. Supporters said the tariff would protect American farmers from unfair competition. Mexican growers saw it as punishment for their efficiency and investment in greenhouse technology. The end of the agreement unleashed a trade war, disrupting a system that had worked for a generation. The tariff is more than a tax, it's a signal that the old way of doing business is over. U.S. policy has shifted from managed trade to direct protectionism. The consequences are now rippling across North America. What was once a seamless supply chain is now a battleground. The collapse of the agreement has exposed deep divisions. The tomato trade is now a flashpoint in a larger economic conflict. The future of North American agriculture is suddenly uncertain. A single policy has changed the fate of millions. Florida's tomato industry, rooted in open fields and seasonal harvests, has long felt threatened by Mexico's year-round greenhouse-grown supply. The Florida Tomato Exchange lobbied hard for protection, arguing that unpredictable weather and higher costs made fair competition impossible. Mexican producers, meanwhile, invested in technology, hydroponic greenhouses that deliver consistent high-quality tomatoes all year. Florida's growers see the tariff as a lifeline. Mexican farmers see it as punishment for progress. The U.S. can't quickly replace Mexican imports. Domestic production is limited and seasonal. Experts say it would take years and billions to build enough greenhouses to fill the gap. The tariff was a calculated risk, enacted under pressure from Florida's powerful lobby. The divide is not just economic, but technological and geographic. Mexico's innovation meets Florida's tradition in a battle for the future of the tomato market. The U.S. industry faces a hard truth. Adaptation is slow, and the market is changing fast. The supply gap is real, and consumers will feel it. The tomato war is about more than price. It's about who gets to feed North America. The outcome will shape the continent's food system for years to come. The stakes have never been higher. The new tariff hits Mexican farmers hard, threatening jobs and entire communities built on tomato exports. In the U.S., consumers face higher prices. Analysts predict up to a 10% jump for fresh tomatoes. The logistics network suffers too, with thousands of American jobs at risk in border states. A policy meant to help Florida growers ends up hurting many others. The ripple effects are immediate and widespread. In a global food system, trade barriers rarely have isolated impacts. Mexico is pivoting north, forging new trade ties with Canada. Canadian retailers, eager for reliable, high-quality produce, welcome the shift. Lorries now bypass the U.S., heading straight to Ontario and Quebec. Mexico invests in logistics, building a new corridor to Canada. For Canada, it means year-round tomatoes. For Mexico, a vital new market. The U.S. risks losing its place as the top destination for Mexican produce. Trade routes are being redrawn and alliances are shifting fast. The tariff has divided the U.S., celebrated in Florida, condemned in Texas and Arizona. Lawmakers from border states unite across party lines to oppose a policy they say destroys local jobs. The tomato has become a symbol of a bigger debate: protectionism versus global trade. The disruption reveals how fragile our food supply chains really are. A single decision can send shockwaves through economies and communities. Mexico's pivot to Canada shows how quickly trade alliances can shift. The era of a single, integrated North American market may be ending. The tomato's journey is now a warning. In global trade, nothing is permanent. The future of North American agriculture is uncertain. The story of the tomato is the story of change.